morning. Today we are working on a move that a lot of ninja characters have, and some few others do have. It's called an Izuna Drop, and as you've seen by the clip I played to start the video, it's basically grabbing your enemy, jumping high into the air, spinning around, and coming crashing down. So I'm going to show you the basic Izuna Drop. To make it more fantastical, you would just add effects and other things. So to start off, we need to make the command. So I just copied the Kung Fu throw. I'm using Kung Fu Man as the base again. Copy the Kung Fu throw, named it here, change the state to 900 because 800, 900, the next is 1000 for Kung Fu Man. So this is a safe number for me to use. Command is going to be, instead of Y and instead of the basic throw setup, I'm going to use C um, and then command equals Z. So you have to press C and Z together to do it. This can only be done standing. You have to have control. You can't be in run. Um, these trigger 2 I don't need, and let's see, trigger 1 I will only keep these. So the player 2's body doesn't have to be close to you. The player has to be standing or crouching. This is or if you didn't know, and the player cannot be in a hit. So this way, you can't combo into the Izuna Drop. But if you want to, eventually you can. But I'm doing this as a throw and not as a move used in a combo. So that's why it's like this. So that is how you set up the command. Then you go to your states. I do not have a state 900 yet. I just have the 800 and the 1000. So I'm going to start off by going to the Kung Fu Man throw attempt and copy this. You could copy any of the state too, but I'm going to use this one since this is an effective throw that works. I'm going to erase all this. You can read this if you want. It helps a lot when coding throws at the start. And when I follow the same scheme that Kung Fu Man has going on, you can also read these. So Izuna Drop attempt. This is state 900. It's standing move. It's an attack. Standing physics to start. 0 jungle points will be lost. 0 velocity. He won't move. 0 control. You can't make him slide over the place or make him start this move and then go into another move. Animation will be 900. Sprite priority is 2. And then the hit def for a throw, you need the basic hit def. You don't need the whole extravagant like all these things or like all of these things. At least not for this section to start. So time equals 0 means the first hitbox that touches them. The attributes for this move is it's a standing normal throw. Hit flag I'm not sure. Oh wait, hold on. Okay. It only affects ground people who are not being hit. I guess that's what the minus does. So it makes it so they're not being hit. Priority is 1, so it has low priority. Spark number -1. So this way, when you hit someone, it does not display a hit spark because you're grabbing. You're not hitting. You're just grabbing them. Spark priority. Make sure player 1 is in front of player 2. You'll set player 2's priority to 0. The facings, which is to make both player 1 and player 2 face each other. This is very necessary. Otherwise, you grab someone and they're like, turned around or doing something else, like in a simultaneous match. You don't want that. Then the P2 state number and P1 state number are going. So when this hits, P1 is going to go to a state 91, 0, 910, and P2 is going to go to 920. I have to make those states. I didn't make them yet. Guard distance equals 0, prevents P2 from going into the guard state if close. This is to stop them from blocking. And fall is like a safety measure, so if they fall out of your guard or your grab, they fall down. And if it all misses, then animation's over. You go back, player 1 goes back to stand. So that's the Izuna Drop there. So now let's see. Now you can copy this as well, but this is a little bit on the confusing side. Yeah, I think this is on the confusing side. But you know what? Let's take a look. This is animation 10, 810. So 810, frame 1, 2, 3. Okay. So let's go with this is frame 2, no. No, 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 no. Nothing here to take. Okay. So that's nothing to copy from. So we're just gonna have to make this state ourselves. What I will copy is this state def. It's always good to have a reference point. Okay, so this is gonna be 910. Layer one will have the animation set like that. So now I have to make an animation for Kung Fu Man because he doesn't do this type of move. So this is my Izuna Drop attempt. It's the same as the Kung Fu grab. I just copy the animation. Now the only reason I made it a different state number is because if I'm making a character who has a different type of grab for this type of move, I want it to look different. So that's why I left two animations in case if I wanted to do a different animation, like I could have him kicking and still make it work the same way. But this just gives me an option to make it a different animation. Then you have the success, which is him still grabbing. I had to make this frame where he pulls him towards him, and this frame where he's grabbing him going up into the air, and then this frame where he's coming straight down with him. So now look at the times. This is 2 ticks, 2 ticks, 15 ticks, 3 ticks, 50 ticks, -1 ticks, which is infinite because we're falling. So now this is when he lands. I'll go over this later. And this is player 2's. Timing is all the most important thing. So 2 ticks, 2 ticks, 15 ticks, 3 ticks, 50 ticks, -1, infinite ticks. So when you're doing a move like this or any kind of custom state, the opponent needs to have the same keyframing as the player, unless you're doing something different. But ideally for a throw, you need to have the same timing. So, alright, so let's go to success. Alright, so I'm going to use Kung Fu Man's hands here as a reference. Okay, so frame 2, his hands are located at position. If you look over here, you'll see position 62. Well, I'm just going to use the Y value, no, the X value, 62. Okay, so now in this state, the player 1 state, I'm going to use target bind, animation element 2, time will be 2 ticks. ID -1 means it's any ID that is in is a target. -2, level 62. Okay, and then now it's gonna be 68. This is frame 3. Copy pasta again. And frame 3 is actually 15 seconds. Let me fix that. 15 ticks. And then frame 4 is back here at, let's go with 57. Okay. Oh, I put the wrong thing. Okay. And he's here for 3 ticks. So this will bind him for these 3 ticks. And then, okay, he's gonna go up with him. And the way I did this, there's so many ways to do this, so many ways to do it wrong. I was gonna use this originally and have this aligned to Kung Fu Man's hands, but it'll be too high. So I think I might just go with that. No, actually, head alignment, flip him this way, and yeah, I'm gonna use the head alignment, flip him this way, and then falling down will be a different kind of alignment. Okay, so I'm up to this frame now, aligning his head position. So going back to Kung Fu Man, the head is gonna be here. So this is 15, comma -96. So we're gonna go to this one, frame 5 times 50, 15, -96. Okay, and then we're gonna test all the target binds before we do velocity things. We don't want to have a player to fly off his hands for whatever reason, which will be hilarious. So, okay, so now this way. What frame do I have for player 2? Okay, it's that frame. So for this one, hands are here, -20, -24. Let's put the hands -32, -15. Okay, and there, that'll be -1. So now we need to make player 2 state. We also need to separate this. It helps if you separate things, just so you don't get confused. Okay, so now I'm making 920. Izuna Drop. Wow, D2. Okay, now this does not work for a custom state. This has to be hurt. Power add is useless here. We're going to use change atom 2, not time, which is equal to time equals 0. It's the same thing. The value would be 920. And then I'm going to put a self state just as a placeholder for now. And it's going to be position equals 0 and val y equals 0. That's if he goes under the ground. And it's going to be 5,100. So, okay, the states are here. This is to send them, and let's try it. Hopefully it works. Hopefully. Okay. Okay, so it looks good. So as you can see, I did the Z and C command, and he grabs him a little too far away. Actually, yeah, it's a little too far away. So while I paused it there, let's move it closer here. That's frame 3, so let's go with let's go with 60. Let's do 55. Then pulls him closer. Okay, he's got to be like 53. I'm just eyeballing this. That looks good. It looks creepy. That looks weird. Okay, so they go up into the air, and then 50 ticks later, they come down. Okay, so I think the reason this looks funny is because he's not turned around the right way. So let's do that. Oh, you know what? I think it is because I turned him around. That's probably why. Okay, let's see. Yeah, that's better. It's a little too far off though, so let's not use 33. Let's just use 15 and 5. Ooh, someone died. Okay, just 25 then. 23. Alright, so now the move works. He's binded to Kung Fu Man. And this is not going to work yet until he's moving. Okay, so that's good. So now we need to send him up into the air. Let's look for it. Frame 5. Okay, it's a velocity there, so frame 5. I like to keep everything sort of close to where it has to be. So we're going to put this to -0.5, and then this will be -4. Animal equals 5. So now they're going to fly into the air. Yep. And then velocity for this one. Let's see. M equals 6. -0.5 still. And this will be like 10. Put this to 10 also. So that kind of works. Oops. So that works really well. This works. It just, yeah. I might just put this might get player to another state to be extra safe. Um, when you're doing custom states, you can use a change state. It'll only send them to a state in your state though, but it'll work. No, okay, silly me. Okay, 9001. So let's go with post sets. I'm going to position set him on the ground. And self state will just be not time. And there we go. Let me just test this to make sure it works, because I've never actually done this before, so we'll see. Okay, so it's skipping this part. Maybe because of this. Oh, you know what else? No. He needs a velocity. Okay, vel set. There, one tick makes a difference. Oh, you know what the real issue is? This. Target bind. Okay, so at some point you could do it by timing, but I will do a target drop target when the trigger is post y greater than 0, y greater than 0, and change this to that might work actually. Let's see if it works. Yeah, that works. Alright, so you can also use like a target state and send this player into the drop state. I like to drop the target so it's clear. There's so many ways to do this. Okay, so now we need to make it look a little fancy. We need to add a screen bound because we don't want to see where they're going. It looks silly if you watch where they're going. So we go to screen bound. Trigger 1 is 1, which means constant infinite. Are they bound to the screen? No, they're not. And player 2, same thing, not bound to the screen. So now they're going to go up in the air and eventually they'll come back down somewhere. Okay, so that's that. And the only thing missing now is player 1 landing. So let me code that in proper. Forgot to label the state. Okay. Okay, so this will be, let's go with 15. Yeah, 15 seems good. And the animation I had for that was 9:15. So 9:15. Okay. You change state in the first state. Okay, and then the change state would be 9:15. Okay. So now he hits the ground. He's gonna flip into the air using a vel set. Let's go with 5, -10. Not time means right away. And then using a gravity code, we'll send him back to the ground naturally. You know what? I might just put physics to A. No, that'll be too weird. Actually, let's try it. What's the worst that happens? It works. And this is not an attack, so it has to be I for idle. Alright, so let's see how this works. Oops. That works really well. 2, 10. So now we need to make it a little faster to look more dramatic. At least I think so. So 15 and 15 and 1 and 1. I think this will look great. So let's see how this looks. There you go. Now if you want to make that whole drop much quicker, you would go to the success part, this, and put like 25. And then go to player 2's part and also put 25. You have to keep the values of both frame of animation the exact same, because if they're different, something will go completely wrong. See, and there you go, Izuna Drop. Now, what you also need to put is for here, target bind, well, frame 6. Anything with frame 6, I'll put this down here. Okay, so anything with frame 6, you're gonna need a target life add code. And for the target life add code, you're gonna use anime element equals 6, and the value will be, say, 100. So it's gonna be kill is 1, absolute is 1, so this is guaranteed 100 damage. And you can also do things like let's see, you can do things like pause and stuff to emphasize a hit and explode, all those things. So there's a variety of other things you can add to it, but this is the gist of how to do an Izuna Drop. And there you go. Did he lose life? Let's see. I hope he lost life in that. Let's see. He didn't lose life. You know why? Probably because he left the state too early, or probably because he's not a target anymore. But that's okay. The other alternative way of doing this is in their state. That one state that you give them, you can just use a life add code here and take away 100 here, and it's the same thing, except this side it's controlled from their end instead of on the player's end, and it's also kind of almost guaranteed to work, like how target life didn't work. See? So now Kung Fu Man has an oh geez, Kung Fu Man has an Izuna Drop. Save him. And now I would add effects, earth shaking, some pause, some other things going on. And you know, you can also do this in the air. You just have to change the animation. I didn't make up an animation for Kung Fu Man to do it in the air, so that's just how it is. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Bye.